Today I review Thermold AR15 magazines. Hey folks, this is BC and you're watching Science Fiction and Gaming. And recently I needed a 20 round magazine for my AR15 to shoot on the bench because it is pretty difficult to use these 30 round magazines above a bench rest. So went shopping around and lo and behold, there are none to be found. But I did find on classicfirearms.com, I did find 20 round Thermold. I've never shot them before, but I'm going to do a review on them today. And it's no secret that every different AR-15 or AR platform magazine is compared to two different magazines out there. Number one is the aluminum GI issue. That's your standard one that any military personnel is familiar with. The second one is the PMAG, which is the polymer version. And I've actually seen several people overseas using those as well. I'm assuming they bought them with their own money. I don't know. But we'll compare those with my new Thermold 20 round magazine and see how it compares and stacks up. Alrighty, well let's take a look at all three of my magazines here a little closer. First off, we have standard GI issue magazine. Every person that's been in the military for the last 30 years is familiar with this. Aluminum body, aluminum floor plate. It has the green anti-tilt follower, and I believe I ordered this with a stainless steel spring, so it should be good for a very, very long time. It's no frills, it's a smooth surface, so it gets kind of slippery, and it is the ultimate in reliability. Second one we have here is the PMAG. This one has the window, so you can see your rounds as they disappear. Polymer construction, polymer floor plate. It has a good texture on it. You can really grip this no matter how slippery your hands are. When it's covered in mud, covered in sweat, whatever, you'll always be able to hold on to this. And I believe all PMAGs, I've never seen one without one, unless someone's lost it, has the dust cover on there. And underneath that, you'll find a very, very good anti-tilt follower there. There's not really a good adjective, but I would say this is the most anti-tiltiest version of the anti-tilt follower. It's anti-tiltier. Very, very reliable, very good. Unfortunately, I have one issue with it, is that, there we go, it's locked in and it does not fall freely. You got to pull it out. Try it again. Nothing. Even with a bunch of rounds in it, it still stays in there. I don't know if that's everyone's. I don't think everyone has that issue, but I do, and I know I've seen a couple other people posting online about that. The GI magazine, of course, always has been a drop free. Now we have Thermold. It's got slick sides, so it is kind of slippery. It does have kind of an extended polymer follower there, so you can kind of grab onto that, which is good. It's down here. Okay. It has, of course, polymer body, polymer floor plate. It has, it's pretty much identical to the standard GI issue anti-tilt follower. I'm not sure if it's a stainless steel spring. I've not looked up that information. Could be. I don't know. Let's see. But I do have the pleasure to say that it is a drop-free magazine that is polymer. So that's at least something that's got over on the PMAG. And one final thing before we actually get to the range is that when I first got these, I can see there's a ton of leftover flashing that probably should have been removed. I would have removed it if I were to manufacture these myself. So I don't know if it's just a temporary thing because there's a huge rush on magazine production right now, or if that's just their standard deal. I'm not sure, but there's quite a bit of flashing inside on the follower. Basically, I just took, there's some still right there. I took the whole thing apart and just took my Swiss Army knife and just went around and just shaved off all the flashing. Took me, you know, 3 minutes at most, so it's not a big deal. But I left one. I got two of these. I left one completely, I guess, flashed. I don't know. It's got all the flashing still on it, and I'm going to see if it actually does affect something. So you can kind of see there the flashing on the end there that is not there. I actually took that down. So I got one that's been completely cleaned up to my specifications, I guess, and then one is as issued, untouched. And we'll see if there's any difference between them once we get to the range, which is up next. We are now down at the range. I have my Thermold magazine here, 20 rounds. Got 20 rounds in it, ready to go. This is the magazine that I removed all the mold flashing from. So we'll see how it works. Got my ears on. Worked just fine. Okay, now this one still has all the flashing on it. This is basically as issued from the box, straight from classicfirearms.com. Let's see how she shoots. Ears on. 20 rounds. Failed to feed. Try it again. Okay. Had that one mishap, but other than that, worked just fine. All right, let's go back and take a look at these. All right, well, back in the range now, and got everything cleaned up here. Here is the Thermold magazine that I had no issues with. This is the one I took apart, whittled off all the mold flashing, and did fine, did great, no issues whatsoever. Here, on the other hand, is the magazine that was straight out of the box, as is. I just took it out of the box, shoved 20 rounds in it, hit the record button, started shooting. This is the one I had the one failure to feed on. Now I will say, maybe it needed some break-in, maybe the spring needed to be broken in some, because I did do a couple of compressions here with this one. This spring had never been compressed before that video was shot. And I did put another 40 rounds through this magazine after filming, and it did just fine. So I'm going to say right now that as of now, I do recommend Thermold magazines. They shot well. They're nice and compact, lightweight. Seem to be sturdy. I like these, especially right now that you can't find magazines very easily. And these are readily available from the good people at classicfirearms.com. So have at it and have a good time shooting your AR-15.